Alright, so I'm recording this from my house right now because I didn't have time to record this up north. But when we went up north, we went up there to set up for a party for New Year's. And that's why I didn't really have that much time. But when we were setting up for the party for New Year's, we also had some of the equipment for remodeling the room, the game room specifically. And we kind of did that as well, and that's what this video is really going to be about. So what did we really do while we were there? I mean, other than changing around the space for the party, we brought in 3 gaming chairs because before then we had 2 wood chairs that were kind of questionable and uncomfortable at times. And we also had a rolling chair that had been there, I think, since probably I was born, so pretty old, really old, honestly. I don't remember a time when it wasn't around. And the other thing that we got was monitors. My friend likes to play games on a monitor, even though we have 2 TVs in that room. He wants to have his own 2 monitors there just because that's his preference. That's what he likes to play on. So when we figured out what we want, we ordered it. I'm surprised mine came in on Saturday because it was supposed to come in on Sunday and it got in earlier than expected. Or no, it came in Sunday. It came in late Sunday. We left Sunday, and on Monday we put everything together, and that's kind of what I'm going to showcase. So when we put them together, they went in pretty smoothly. There wasn't many things that I really would say were issues. The instructions were pretty simple. The chair functioned really well. I would say maybe they could have added like washers and lock washers. That would have been better. And maybe they could have done socket head instead of button heads for some things. I just didn't see the necessity for button heads in literally anything that they had. And button heads, for the record, they round off easier. When you have socket heads, they have a much higher likely chance of not rounding off. So I rounded off 2 bolts when I was tightening in the arm seats, or the rest for the arm, and I think the right side. And that'll be difficult to get off if we ever need to do that, but we shouldn't. But still, those were button heads essentially. And if they were socket heads, I wouldn't have to worry about them rounding off. So they could have done that. The neck rest was kind of not placed in a great spot. Like, it was below the neck. It was like kind of a little above where my shoulder blades meet. And that, for me, being a shorter person, that kind of was in the upside. So maybe not the greatest for the room. Maybe we should have looked at the reviews a little more. But we were looking for something in the price range that we wanted. Luckily, me and my friend, after taking some time, we figured out that, hey, if we can use the clip, and we can just clip it around the whole seat instead of around the strap, and that works. And then it's like right at the neck, so then it's a perfect neck rest. Personally, I don't like the neck rest that much, so I just 86 mine and I flipped it around. But nonetheless, the chairs were really nice. Other than that, they felt really good. The backrest was really nice. It had good adjustment to it. The lean back was really good too. I would say it was very sensitive. Like, when you pulled up on the lever, if it went up a little bit, like there would be no like, it's like an on and off switch. There's no middle ground. There's no like resistance. It's just like open and free, and you can just flop around there, or it's rigid and it's not going anywhere. That's more or less my take on the chairs. Pretty good for the price. I'm looking forward to it, to see how they hold up. Honestly, I'm looking forward to see how that's gonna work out, because one of my gaming chairs at home, it took 3 years to start fraying. It is leather though, so that's a little different, but nonetheless, that I'm curious how the fabric ones are gonna hold up. They should hold up pretty well though, I suspect, just because we're not going to be up there a lot, so they should at least hold up for 5 years, because the amount of time we're going to use them in 5 years is not going to be that much, honestly. but they should hold up pretty well. And their fabric, and the reason why I chose fabric actually instead of leather is because we have other stuff in that room that's fabric, so it kind of fits into that vibe. And then one of the reasons I chose casters instead of like a stationary chair was mobility, and also eventually we're gonna have wood floors, so then I'll have even more mobility, right? So that's my reasoning for choosing a chair that has casters. Now for the monitors, they were extremely easy to set up. The only thing I ran into issues with, so unpackaging it and everything and clipping on the back stand, it even has some flex to it, up and down, so that you can angle it whatever angle you want it. If you want it to aim up or aim more down, you can do that. That's a nice little feature, especially since my friend did not know that they would have that actually. So that was pleasant. So the price I think was right around $90. Pretty good for a gaming monitor, nothing crazy, nothing like super expensive. Like I said, this is for up north, so it's not like high-end stuff. It's like stuff that we're gonna use once or probably 3 times each month, nothing crazy, right? So we're not trying to use it every day. Otherwise we'd buy something a little bit more high-end, a little bit more long-lasting. So then what I was saying is when we unpackaged it and when we got all the clips on and stuff and everything was basically done, there was this white label that had to come off. It had some whatever, basically the stuff that is the performance, like what performance things this monitor has. So when I pulled that off, there were some remnants on the monitor, so I had to clean that off. So that part was like inconvenient, but took a Clorox spray and a rag and I eventually cleaned it all off, and after that it moved pretty smoothly. It wasn't that difficult, so those came out pretty good, no complaints there. Everything was pretty simple and easy to understand where it goes. Let me think, were there instructions? Yeah, there were. And those were okay. They weren't really necessary for how easy it was to put together. There weren't any screws. It was literally just a clip it on, and that's it, honestly. The base was circular. I don't know how I feel about that entirely. It kind of takes up more space than it really needs to. It could be more like just 2 legs coming out and like make like a triangle shape. It could be simpler than how big the base is. The base is a little bit big for the monitor, honestly, but I mean, I can't complain on $90, you know, so that's good for me. I would say, looking at it, the whole room, it's come together now, and I think the only thing that we really need to touch up are Ethernet cables that gotta get ran to the room, and then we have paint to do on the desk. I'm thinking about painting it gray. We'll see. Maybe black. There's a lot of black in the room. And then maybe doing like a white top. Overall, pretty good weekend. It was just me and him up there working on the stuff for the party and working on the rooms. And that was basically it.